All right, how are you doing today? Hope everyone's doing good today, wherever you're at today. Hey, you know what? We are going to talk about probably one of my most absolute number one, most funnest things ever to talk about today. And it's simply this. What do you think the number one swear word that couples, families, coworkers, maybe in a toxic environment at work, what do you think the number one swear word is used when relationships are in conflict? Now, I hope you understand by now, we're not exactly talking about, probably the normal swear word that might be coming out of your word. Oh, I know what it is. It's the A bomb. It's the B bomb. It's the C bomb. It's the D bomb. Wow, there's a lot of swears in the alphabet. So I'm going to introduce a different swear today. And just so it's made aware, I've actually been saying this swear word this entire time. Except that I hope you and I right now in this moment are not in conflict with each other. Now, if we are in conflict, well, I'm probably just talking to nothing right now because, you would have shut this station off, or you would have closed your computer, you would have turned your TV off or gone to a completely different channel and, oh man, I guess, I'm done. I'm in conflict with Jeremiah. I can't do it anymore. No, the reality is the number one swear word is simply this. It's the word you. Now, if you got it, thumbs up. Make sure in the comment, I got it before you said it. Yes. But if you didn't, that's okay. Because back in the day, I never would have got it either. It's just that through observing, through working with couples, through working in relationships and families and just real life every day. All right. You in conflict is the number one swear word I find that people use when they're in conflict. Now, I don't have any data to back this up. This is not some research project, although had I started this 15 plus years ago, I probably would have some pretty convincing data right now. However, I want to add that there are obviously more than even just one swear word than just the word you, all right? And of course, we're not talking the F bomb, the B bomb, the you name it of the alphabet bomb. Okay, I'm just talking about, well, I guess maybe the new swear word is the Y bomb, you. Now, let's take a moment and break this word down, you. What is it that's just so because, in everyday life, even right now, when I started, hey, how you all doing today? It's just common talk that comes out of our mouth. We say it all the time. How are you doing? The problem is that when we have conflict that begins to happen in our relationships, and when I do this, I call this the international pointing symbol of the word you, okay? The problem is that I can get very defensive. I get very closed off. Now, this is hopefully not going to trigger anybody with what I'm going to say or give you flashbacks of your youth, unless you are a youth watching this and you're going, yeah, it's totally what they tell me all the time. And it's simply this. Hear the difference. And I'll do my best to try to keep the intensity the same. All right. And of course, this could be argued or disagreed with. This is just something that I have observed over and over again in relationships, whether it's in regular life or during therapy. Think about it. You're 16 years old, and maybe mom or dad have had a really bad day, and they're just like, oh my gosh, I need you to take out the garbage. Versus maybe the other situation where they're working on their communication skills and they're like, oh my gosh, I just need the garbage taken out. Can the garbage be taken out? Now, you might even need to rewind this a little bit, all right? Just to kind of get a feel for what we're talking about, all right? Go back, feel the difference. Is there a difference? I'm going to suggest there is. I'm not saying there's not going to be a negative reaction. I'm not saying that the person who is having words spoken to them might have a negative reaction, but when I go, you need to take the garbage out. Whoa, I can feel that even myself when I say that, because it's being projected out. And here's my secondary weapon. Not only this weapon right here called the mouth, but my finger. You, double ammo action happening here, okay? And the other one, and that's part of a little hint. Well, how do I not say you? We're not there yet. We'll talk about that, in probably a different episode. But, when we use the words I, hey, I need the garbage taken out, it can still have a reaction, but far less of an intensity than you need to take the garbage out. Even how it's said, there's just a forcefulness upon it, depending how we project it, how we say it. And of course, for those of you who might have different cultural backgrounds, that intensity could be very different. I mean, I myself am technically what's called a first generation Canadian, and Canadians, of course, are all known for going, oh, I'm so sorry, sorry. Except I'm a first generation Canadian. And yeah, my parents, they were from the United States originally. So because of the region that they're in, and I've been there since, as a kid or young adult, there's a forcefulness in how things are talked, from an American perspective. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe you're watching this and you're an American viewer. I'd love to hear your comments below and get your insights on that. But there are times where sort of that American cultural background that my parents projected onto me in growing up can be very intense. Or maybe it's that part Italian background. I'm always talking with my hands. I remember back in high school, my friends were like, dude, I bet you if you tied your hands behind your back, you couldn't talk. And I went, yeah, I can talk without using my hands. Oh man, this is really tough. So what we want to do is to actually be able to be who we are, but learn ways to communicate, even if it's with passion and fire, to be able to communicate in a way that is still calm and caring, okay, without causing a reaction, hopefully, to the other person. Of course, that's the other challenge too, because I could say things perfectly 100% clear and articulate in a loving and caring way, and it still can be taken the wrong way and everything explodes. All right, different topic for another day, as I like to say. But boy, if we can just take away this one thing. In fact, I would even encourage, take that word you. Maybe if you're at a workplace, and you've got some conflict or tension happening that you've been seeing, or if at home, maybe, you're seeing, a parent, and they're having some challenges with each other, or some sibling rivalry, whatever those situations are, or maybe a group of friends and, different things are happening in the relationship. Buy some popcorn, put it in a bowl, and sit back and enjoy the show and listen for the conflictual word of you. Because I wonder, as you sit back, you told me that you were going to, but and then the other person's like, you can't talk to me like that. You said that, you said, and next thing you know, we're escalating and our temperatures are rising, just below our kidney areas, our adrenal gland, or above our kidneys, our adrenal gland, squirting out that cortisol and that famous thing called adrenaline that's directly connected chemically to our mid part of our brain that is known as the amygdala. The amygdala, fight, flight, freeze, okay? Very simply put, if I'm in a reactionary mode, I'm either gonna run, or freeze, or often what happens in these situations, I fight. Or as mentioned earlier, I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with this. And I run, which then creates a bit of a dance. Another video we're going to have to talk about is how to recognize the dance of conflict when it happens. All right. So the number one swear word that's used. And I've been saying it this whole time. In fact, I've been actually purposely saying it. And so as we learn about communication strategies, half the battle, I'd like to say, is just that awareness. Sit back, eat popcorn, be aware, listen to what's being said. Enjoy the show, okay? Just don't do it to your own partner. Oh, that might have caused some conflict with how I said that. Okay, so be aware of it, because from there we can then figure out, okay, this is not working, because when I say you need to take out the garbage, it creates this explosion of emotion, and it's not getting us anywhere. In fact, we're actually falling farther and farther apart. Where we're at the workplace and you said you'd have this done by next week, and well, you told me that you were going to get back with that project or that PDF, and it never got to me. As I'm having flashbacks. No, I'm just making some stuff up here, but it's very common stuff that happens every day because we as human beings are horrible. Sorry, we are horrible at communication. And guess what also doesn't help? When our amygdala is on, whether it's in fight, flight, or freeze, or any of the other terms like fawn that are used, oh, good luck. Even though you may know exactly how to communicate properly, when we are in that fight or flight, I'll tell you what, all communication strategies go out the window. All right, because this part of our brain here, what I often call part of our brain balloon, shrinks and shrivels down to this part of our brain, which is the limbic system. Well, it's more back here, but I point here meaning back here, which is the limbic system, which is our emotion center to the brain. In other words, the balloon goes, if you remember my brain balloon analogy from a couple of videos ago. And in that brain balloon, we gotta refill it back up again so we can connect to our emotional and our logical side in order for us to communicate, in this example, in a wise and caring way to each other without saying the word you, or with grit teeth, or with an attitude and go, I'm kind of feeling a little tense right now with how I was spoken to. I am wondering if the garbage could be taken out, or I'm wondering if we can have a discussion, or if we just maybe need to take a break and just meet in 10 minutes just to allow ourselves to calm down. Easier said than done in practice, but we got to start somewhere, because awareness again is half the battle. All right, well, as I mentioned, there are more swear words than just the Y word. Okay, now you're gonna, the why swear, okay? Well, let's maybe, in the next video, let's talk about that next number 2 swear that people use. All right, everyone, wherever you are at, enjoy the rest of wherever you're at, and we'll talk to you soon.